Hi there, I'm Ms. Esther Jones of the OneSAS Study Abroad and Work Abroad Agency. So today's session is specifically covering for persons who are now building out their Work Abroad advanced job profile. Okay, if you're not sure if you've completed your basic job profile, which is required first, then I would recommend that you go ahead and review the video that would have been previously set up and sent to you. If one was not sent, simply send us a WhatsApp and we will be happy to send to you that basic job profile. But very quickly, if you did not go to the Work Abroad page, onesas.com/work abroad. If you did not tap on this button that says jobs, you don't recall doing that and submitting your basic job profile under the job registry, then you are not yet there. All right, so we would like you to complete this part of it first and then get back with us. So for those who have completed this process, we are now moving on to the advanced job registry, guys. Okay, so we're going straight to the checklist of documents that we need to gather to provide to our HR agency and or employer who is our representative, and make sure that they have everything that they need to consider your profile for selection. So what you'll do is go to onesas.com/checklist. Okay, and hit enter. Just that simple. And here, you'll notice that this checklist covers both study abroad documents for students and work abroad documents for workers, okay? And we do want to make sure that you're clear on our GDPR guidelines. Study abroad student services is compliant with GDPR and or information privacy laws as relevant. Therefore, 1, any and all information submitted shall be archived by us and remain strictly confidential. 2, information submitted shall not be used or referenced for any purpose outside of its intent, i.e., college, university, or in this case, a job application process. 3, a request for information from whether it's a school, institution, or otherwise, shall first be communicated to the candidate for their written consent via email, SMS, text message, or other modern means of written and typed communication. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's go straight on to the documents that are required. First document that you would need is your certificate of birth or your birth certificate, okay? A legal affidavit or deed poll. If the candidate's name, if your name is different from your birth certificate, that would also be required, all right, to substantiate or to justify or to demonstrate that your name was changed legally. Second, you would need your passport. So if it is that it's being renewed or you're now applying for it for the first time, then we would accept the receipt that shows that you are now applying for your passport this first time. And we will then, once it is, of course, completed, we would receive the official passport when it is that it's ready to be, it's ready for you. Okay. Also, the passport must show the national identification, national ID page. So that covers that. Your marriage certificate, where applicable, that would be required. If it is that you are married, then you would need to have your marriage certificate, okay? Academic certificates. For those of you in the British Commonwealth, persons who are familiar with the O-level and the A-level style of education, which is very common across the British Commonwealth, then O-level certificate or the A-level certificate and equivalent is required, okay? We're coming down a little bit. Your employment history is also required. So with your employment history, actually, before we go there, one moment, before we go there, let's go up a little bit. Okay, so for non-native English speakers, not to be left out because there are many non-native English speakers, or if English is not your country's official language, you may provide a TOEFL score, which is a test of English as a first language, right? Score, or test of English as a foreign language score of 500 or greater if it's paper-based, or a score of 82 if it's internet-based, or the IELTS, which is the International English Language Test score. That's a Cambridge test. So the Cambridge IELTS is also accepted. And a score of 6.5 overall is very helpful at a minimum. However, if it is lower than that, it certainly would be looked at as well. Okay, now Duolingo is a recent addition to things. So a Duolingo score of 105, between 105 to 120 is also preferred. Okay, all right. So that being said, we're going to move on to the employment history. And this is where your career profile would be required. That is your CV or curriculum vitae or your resume. Okay, so your resume or your CV is required here, as well as any documents, any certificates or diplomas that you may have earned while working in the capacity that you did. Okay, as well as your immunization card and or medical history. That would be helpful. Again, your immunization card and or medical history record is very helpful. And last but not least, actually not quite last, almost there, your police certificate, right, or police clearance document. In some countries, it's called a police certificate of good character. Some call it, once again, a police clearance document. But either way, a document that comes from the local police body in your country showing no criminal charges and or no convictions. Okay? And last but not least, we have 2 letters of recommendation are required. 2 letters of recommendation would be required because it is extremely helpful as well. Now, if you can add and you can have a 3rd letter of recommendation, especially for more experienced individuals, please feel free. If it is that you are fresh out of school and you may not have that letter of recommendation ready because you don't have that much work experience, it's okay. You can have a letter of recommendation from your teacher, from maybe a mentor, someone who you look up to, your local house of faith, someone there, a clergy, someone who can speak of your good character and you know your integrity, essentially, right, as an individual. And there is one thing I did not go into detail. Okay, so I want to go back for a moment, everyone, to this police certificate of police clearance document. Now, if it is that you don't yet have a police clearance document, then we would ask you to please apply for one. And usually it may take a little bit longer than expected. Sometimes it takes just a couple weeks, sometimes it takes a month, sometimes it takes more than that, right? 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so. So we do ask persons to submit their receipt showing that they applied for it, so that when the time comes and it is ready, you're simply submitting that to us. So in this particular instance, the police clearance document and your passport, those 2, if you've just recently applied for them, or you are now seeking to renew them or get a new document, then we would strongly recommend to you to go ahead, submit the application, get the receipts showing you've applied for them. And then when they do materialize, we will then accept those 2 documents, but we can at least get the ball rolling with things. Okay, so I hope that this makes sense and it's pretty clear. Everything else here really has to do with whether persons who already have a bachelor degree as an undergrad or a postgraduate degree if they have a master's. So if they do, then their diplomas would be accepted. We would seek the diplomas from those persons. Okay, so at every stage of the game, though, your certificates are required. All certificates, once again, are required, whether they're skill-based, vocational, academic, we need them. Last but not least, important note for everyone. Applications will not be considered if there is any indication that the accompanying documents have been altered from the original in any way. OneSAS reserves the right to reject documents, withdraw an offer, prohibit registration if the documents are found to be based in whole or in part on deception or fraud. And last but not least, OneSAS may seek to verify any information submitted by contacting relevant persons or officials. Okay, so I hope that this helps you to get a sense of what's required of you at this time. And we look forward to hearing from you and working with you in the future. Take care. Bye.